It's a Bitcoin podcast. The only one that's making your money is you. Listen to the Bitcoin podcast. So hold on and listen to the Bitcoin podcast.
It's so good. Damn, it's good. That song could probably heal the world and make it a better place for you and for me. So, welcome to the Bitcoin podcast, everybody. Welcome back. This is episode number 300 and
Waiting for that private comment. No. I think it's 60.
361.
No, I think it's just 360.
361, baby. Episode 361 of the Bitcoin podcast coming at you. I'm the host that talks first, D.
I am the host that talks second, Dr. Corey Petty.
And I'm the third host, Jessie Broke.
Jessie, the man broke.
Okay.
That's him, everyone.
At least she's
It's
getting
the third
creative with
host right there.
Oh, D's
That's
getting
him.
creative with the production here.
That's it. Oh, my
Alicia
bad.
Says no. Alicia says
My
don't touch my
bad. Let
buttons.
me back up out of there. All right, so today's show, we got a sponsor, man.
We're
Been
back.
a while. We're back
but you
in
can't see
business.
You can't see it. 20% off promo.
Hold
black
on, maybe if I
text
throw
in
me
the
back
way.
there. There we go.
There
There
you go.
we
Just
go.
go back to it. Go back to me with the white space, the white
There we
void.
go. There
Oh my
we go. So today's show is brought to you by Manskate. Manscaped.com. If you don't know what that means, then let me tell you something. What you're in for is a suite of male grooming products, like the Manskate Lawnmower 4.0. So here's the deal. Like,
You want to
go
unbox it?
Manscaped.com. Should I unbox it? Should I do an impromptu unboxing?
do
I
it.
thought we were
You
gonna
don't have a
quick
good
unbox.
camera
Here we go.
setup for that. I don't
I
think we have a
don't,
good
but
camera
I
setup for
can.
that.
I can just do it here.
I think
Yeah,
it's
just-
clear Jesse does. Jesse's got he can just click a button and he's ready to unbox.
Do you have an unboxing setup, Jesse?
I do, but not connected. I don't have this. My camera isn't running through OBS.
We'll do the Manscaped
Yeah,
unboxing
we'll
on
do
a
the-
different day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but let me. So here's the thing. This thing is designed for shaving balls. Like that's what, even the logo. The logo is so funny because it's got balls with a wings.
says-
Here, let's
Yeah,
blow
designed
that up.
for
Let's
groin
blow that
grooming.
up. D,
Yeah.
let's blow D up on that.
Yeah, bring me in there. Here, pull me over there. Put me in the middle. There we go. It's got the logo's testicles wrapped in wings, angel
You
wings.
think they decided that was the right choice? Is our logo should be testicles?
I don't think it. Maybe it's not testicles. Maybe it's
All right,
just circles.
come on.
But
Upside
It's an
down
upside
heart.
down heart.
an upside down. It's an upside down heart.
Come on.
But this is the Lawnmower 4.0. It's skin safe. It's rechargeable. Has wireless charging. It has a spotlight, right? So that's the thing that I didn't think I needed until I did. It has a spotlight.
Do you need that?
Well, how do you shave your area, Corey?
We've discussed this. I sit on the toilet so that hair goes directly into the toilet.
How do you get your arm into the toilet hole to shave your balls?
I'm not inside the toilet. I'm above the toilet. It falls directly down.
You just
into the
hover.
toilet.
You hover.
Yeah, you hover. And then you adjust as needed, but the hair goes directly into the toilet.
So the Manscaped is also waterproof, so you can trim dry or in the shower, right? Just like a normal human does.
There you go. That's even better because mine
Yeah.
is not waterproof, so I can drop this thing in the toilet and we're good to go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Only for 30 minutes.
30 minutes too. So for those of you guys with ginormous balls, you can do the whole trim.
Hey, let's
in
be
one sitting.
sexually equal here. Women got a womanscape.
Well, how do you know we're not shitting on their future brands, Corey? They might have a Whoa Manscaped. You know what I'm
Pink.
saying? Which is
Got a few more curves.
Ooh.
yeah.
Why does it have to be pink, Corey?
Oh my
It's
gosh!
the universal color
How
for
dare
for
you.
women.
How dare you?
No, actually, that's a thing. They're pushing back. They don't want pink.
Whatever. Who
They want,
cares?
they want
Doesn't
color
matter. Do
choices.
whatever you want, women. But
Here's the
still,
thing,
like,
look,
some
audience.
women want to shave.
Before we get into the show and talk about crypto, audience, I need to tell you that shaving your dudes or ladies, shaving your junk over the toilet is not a good idea.
It's a wonderful idea, and I guarantee you're going to be converted if you do it.
I think it's like putting milk in before the cereal. It could work, you know, or like pineapple on the pizza.
That's such a
talking
good
about-
analogy. It works.
I'm
perfect.
talking about efficiency. This is about efficiency and
Yeah.
cleanup. I'm not trying to like sweep
I
man
agree with
hair
Corey.
off the floor.
No, but
I'm talking
It's an
about being
efficiency
done, flush, walk away.
Yeah, like put your
Yeah,
milk in the
you're done.
bowl, never have to get milk again, and just reload on
okay,
cereal every time.
there's a reason why there's an LED spotlight, and that's to get the little tiny hairs that you don't see. Where do you think those tiny hairs are going, Corey? You got pube dust all over your bathroom right now.
No, I don't.
How do you not?
It's clean because I clean it.
There's hair.
You know why?
in the-
Because I sit over the toilet when I manscape. That's why I don't have.
Okay.
Because it's not going anywhere but to the toilet.
How often do you brush your trimmers?
I brush my trimmers every time. I
Yeah.
use it.
You don't think that those little microscopic hair dusts go everywhere in your bathroom?
Yeah, that's when you clean your bathroom.
Yeah, but like
Your
they're
argument's
microscopic. They're
dumb.
tiny.
Your
They're
argument is
tiny.
dumb.
I
mean,
guarantee you
it's
got
his
pube dust
bathroom,
in your
it's
bathroom.
his bathroom.
No, because I clean it. I guarantee you got cube dust all over your bathroom because you're just like willy nilly everywhere.
No, I do it in the shower like a normal human.
It sounds like a terrible idea.
No, it just washes down the drain. You're fine.
You know how well I can see with water hitting my face? Super good.
No, you just like turn the shower down, right? And you look down, and then you get a.
Some people don't have big showers. Giant man shower. Some people got like, space to like get in there and like. Also, most showers don't have good lighting.
Why are you shaving like that?
You don't do that?
Let me get in there. Let me get in there with it.
Let's get to the show. By the way, go to manskate.com, click that thing, use that code, get 20% off.
Yes, use TBP and Smooth, get 20% off. Please do.
Is
We
that
would love
the right website?
it. Manscaped.com, yes.
All right, good.
At
Sure, I
checkout,
said the right thing.
promo code TBP and Smooth. Now, let's get into this show. I mean, crypto's. I think we're about to come out of that trough of disillusionment. You know what I'm saying? We had a 50% plus price drop on some stuff. Projects are starting to release stuff again. We had the huge news, the guest we have on today, with Fox doing the airdrop. Everyone who's ever used Shapeshift for any of the things got a bunch of Fox. We had several people in the Slack that were like, "Hey, I got Fox."
I was almost 100% certain that the addresses that I used in Shapeshift, which were so long ago, were not getting an airdrop. All of them did. I have so much Fox.
Okay. I don't know if I got any Fox. I know in one of my wallets I put it in
You
there.
do Shapeshift, you have Fox, unless you just threw away those keys. Which you
I
might
didn't
have.
throw away those keys. So I have a couple wallets that I can use, but I stopped using Shapeshift.
Good matter.
A
I used it
while
before you did,
ago.
and I got all those. I got all that Fox.
Really?
I was very skeptical, and then I looked at like some of those really, really old wallets that I had, and I know that you were doing the same thing because we talked about it a lot. Like, they all had it.
One of those wallets is gone. I know that for a fact. It was back when there was EthereumWallet.com. I don't know if you remember that one, but
we
your
worked
private
on-
key
we worked
was
on
the
getting-
URL. That was a pretty good one, I thought, but I guess that was not a good one, and it all shook out. And then they actually turned into, was it Jax?
No, they turned on my Ether wallet. I'm pretty sure my Ether, like EthereumWallet.com, turned into my Ether wallet as a platform, and then that split off into my Ether wallet and my crypto.
Okay. Well, that was a huge airdrop. A lot of people got some. I don't know. It kind of feels like crypto is kind of cooling down, which is good. It allows people like yourself, Corey, to get to work without all the distraction of price this, price that. Do I get a boat? Do I not get a boat? Where are hookers legal? Where are they
All
not?
of my like third connection friends hitting me up, telling me they should listen to me and if they should buy Doge.
Mm-hmm.
That's no
And
longer
then what did
happening.
you say?
No. My answer was no.
Okay.
They would have probably made money, but my answer is still no.
Yeah. So, um, so some of the talking points we have for this show, of course, are well, we kind of talked about it on the last show, but I do feel as if the hash rate coming back is a beautiful example of the gamification of Bitcoin working exactly as it's supposed to work. So, yeah, there's that. I also feel so there's something going on here. And Corey, I kind of need to just ask a new question here. What the hell exactly is optimism and why does that keep popping up in things that I read about?
Really? You don't know what optimism is?
I don't. I know
Okay,
what
great.
optimism is. As you can see, I'm quite a jovial fellow, you know. I keep the mood up, you know. But as far as
So
technology is
optimism,
concerned,
as it pertains to cryptocurrency and Ethereum, optimism is a layer 2 solution that is an attempt to scale transactions via a process called optimistic rollups for Ethereum. What does that mean? It means that there's a separate network that is very close to what Ethereum feels like and looks like, that allows you to do Ethereum-like things, that works way faster and way, way, way cheaper. And what they do is they basically allow you to do basically have an Ethereum-like experience, and the consensus of that thing basically takes all those transactions, rolls them up into a big block of transactions, and then embeds them into the Ethereum blockchain. So instead of like you doing Ethereum transactions on Ethereum, you do them on this layer 2, like a network that sits on top of it that allows you to do things faster and cheaper with a different security model. And if something goes wrong there, you still have the ability to dispute a transaction and execute anything you do on this layer 2 on the Ethereum blockchain. So it's a way to scale Ethereum for a specific type of transaction, right? So right now, they've recently released, and they allow you to do limited activity, which is basically just Uniswap. So Uniswap, the decentralized exchange that lives on Ethereum 1, has an implementation also on Ethereum 2. So what you can do now, if you have assets on Ethereum 1, like layer 1, the Ethereum blockchain, you can say, I'm going to send these assets to Uniswap. Takes about 20 minutes, gets on there, and then you have assets on Optimism, and you can do whatever you want there. You can exchange things, move them around, whatever. And that's basically like the equivalent of like your optimistic stuff. And then if
so
you
it's
wanted to, you
option.
just push them back to you can push them back to Ethereum if you want to. So there. Over time, they're going to open it up to further developers to add additional things, so that you can just basically have I think a lot of things will just live on Optimism or layer 2s like it, and they'll never actually need to go to layer 1 like the Ethereum blockchain. They'll just all of the business over whatever that application does just lives on Optimism, which makes it much faster and cheaper for most end users because they don't really give a shit about how it works in the back end.
I see.
But there's a lot of
So
other
is
stuff associated with how this actually works and the security model associated with it, but I think that's kind of go listen to Hashing It Out. We recently did an episode with Optimism about this, so if you're interested in some technical details, go listen to that.
So it's a scaling solution.
Yeah, 100%.
Does it add? It doesn't add privacy to it, so it's not like in the
No
aspect
privacy.
of like it just takes a bunch of accounts, a bunch of transactions, rolls them up, and then makes it one transaction.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So
It's like they do basically a compression algorithm of all the transactions over a given period of time, make that into like a chunk of data, and then embed that into the Ethereum blockchain, so that like basically the price of embedding that into Ethereum blockchain is shared across all the transactions that ever did it. So it's much cheaper and faster. And then you have the security of the Ethereum blockchain backing up all the transactions that happened in that time frame. And they're available to anyone who'd like to see them, so that if someone who's watching says like that's not a transaction I submitted, they're able to submit a dispute, and that can then be executed on the main chain. So like the main point of this is like the evolution of like plasma chains, which was a thing back in the day.
Plasma. Sorry.
That allowed people to kind of just do a lot more activity, aggregate all that activity, chunk it up, compress it, and then embed it into a lower layer with a higher security. And it's been worked on for quite a while, and it's been released, and I expect it to do a lot of things.
Okay. That was a good, very succinct explanation, and I understand it now. How many transactions can fit into? If we were to be optimistic, how many transactions fit into an optimism transaction?
I forget what it currently is. So there's a few things here, right? So like right now on Ethereum 1, the proof of work Ethereum chain, it does, I think, a 10 to 100x amount of transactions that Ethereum
I like
do.
that. That's orders.
And well, this is based on their claims. I haven't tested it or seen it. And then once the Ethereum 2 phase, like the 1.5 or so, whenever the data layer associated with the shards of Ethereum 2 are available. So like as Ethereum 2 keeps moving and migration happens, there's going to be shards that have data availability but no execution. You can't do transactions on them, but you can store data on them. And what's going to happen is that the Optimism will actually use all the data shards of Ethereum 2 to then massively increase its scale, which then moves to like, so then Optimism will be able to do purportedly like 100x, or like I was like 1,000 to 10,000x transactions or something like that, like a lot more. You can look it up on the website that says it right there. But as that larger data layer is available to you, because right now what they're doing is they're packaging all these transactions and they're putting them directly on the proof of work Ethereum 1 chain. When the data layer available of Ethereum 2 is available, they're able to package them up and then disperse them across all the different data shards of Ethereum 2, which then allows them to do so many more transactions depending upon how you can break that stuff up, which is a much more complicated problem, and we'll see if it works. It remains to be seen. But as it stands today, Optimism works up to a given level of scalability.
Is it like RAID mirroring, like the shard dynamic of speeding up? Like, is that a good way of explaining it?
Maybe.
You first need to explain RAID mirroring.
Yeah, that's another technical problem. Basically like we've aggregated things, and the security model is different. It's not as secure as Ethereum, but it's pretty damn close. So like depending on what you're doing, like who cares? Find a donut? Who gives a shit? You don't need the world computer to fucking verify your donut purchase.
Aggregate's such a good word.
And that makes sense, right? For like scaling a world computer that does transactions.
You see that?
Yeah.
It's
bugging the shit out of me.
If the base layer is like incredibly important verification of transactions, would you rather it be verifying a donut purchase or a block of thousands of other transactions that have been kind of processed by another processor?
But hey, man, who are you to decide what transactions are important or not, man?
Well, that's actually a conversation we had on the Hashing It Out episode with Optimism. Was like so what do you consider fair? So right now there's this big thing happening in Ethereum world with respect to this concept of MEV, or miner extractable value, which is basically like how much value can the miners extract from the users, and that's based on like transaction ordering. So people can like sandwich transactions around like a decentralized exchange transaction to then pump up the price, have that one go, and then sell it, right? So they can do all these weird things to extract additional value to regular transactions. And so like the concept of ordering transactions and the fairness of that becomes somewhat of a game. And these layer 2s may end up becoming almost like a fairness market of how do you order transactions that get aggregated and then chunked and put into layer 1. And so people may end up choosing what layer 2 they want to operate on based on the fairness of transaction ordering, which is an interesting thing that I hadn't quite thought about beforehand.
You ever feel like when people say we want to make things fair, you're actually making things less fair in the way that no, you don't have to blow me up.
No, this is important. We want to hear what you have to say.
No, I don't want to be this big. Make
right,
me smaller. Yeah, no. So like whoever enters in a system, right? Like basically, I was having a conversation with Alicia about this. Is once you have like a certain amount of wealth, right? It becomes in your best interests to go beyond the rules where that wealth is controlled, and really like decentralization of wealth is like the best thing. It's like the the solution to solving your tax problems. You live outside of a system where they can't tax you, right? We kind of got into this in the tail end of the interview with Eric, which is if I come into a system and I have a shit ton of value, and then I create a system of quote unquote fairness where I don't allow people to essentially get ahead of me, don't I just solidify the advantages that I already come into the system with?
I don't quite understand what
Yes.
you're meaning.
He's
So, like,
saying if you're wealthy in one system, you're gonna get double advantages. You're wealthy in the incumbent financial system, and because you are wealthy, you basically leapfrog to the top of the benefits of all the other systems that you can easily get
Assuming your
into.
wealth transfers, yeah.
so what I mean is, like, wouldn't it be better if that problem was a feature, not a bug, like MEV? Like ordering of transactions, like you pay more to have your transaction order to have another transaction so that you can, for whatever reason, just have your transaction execute ahead. Like I think that
Yeah, well,
inequality is
that depends on your
useful.
definition of fairness. That's fair to a lot of people. For some, it may
Yeah.
not be.
Who are they trying to protect by like, let's say, protecting the order of transactions and not giving, like, let's say, whoever pays a higher fee first priority? Who are they trying to protect?
Well, it depends on like that makes a market, right, for like gas prices. And like if you argued
Right.
against like there's a like, that's part of the blockchain side's argument or block size argument in early
Uh,
Bitcoin was like there should be a healthy fee market that's kind of hyper capitalistic in terms of the scarcity of this thing. And the fee market is supposed to then incentivize the miners to actually do security for the network because there's no longer inflation to incentivize them, right?
mhm.
And then like Bitcoin Cash people are like, yeah, but we're not there yet, and it's technically not that difficult. So why don't we just expand the size of the blockchain so that fees are freely available to a lot of people, and we don't have this ridiculously high fee market that then pushes out a good portion of the people who need the technology,
But
right?
I say that I'm against that, right?
Then you have a different viewpoint
Yeah.
than some people because some
But
people don't have that.
I think that people should get priced out so that they can go and build new things that allow people to potentially not get priced out, so that you have like an iterative
All right, well, how
process
about
where,
this? So here's a situation that I've personally faced
okay,
working for Status, and that is we've built a bunch of things that work off of relatively low-cost transactions because in the old days of Ethereum that was the case, and we have and a lot of the things that we'd like to do around fun things you can do with Web3 and chat are should be relatively low cost, otherwise they don't make any sense. Like maybe like for instance a chat reaction
hmm
that actually has value associated with it. So you say something funny in a
like
chat
if I
room and
send an
people can then
emoji and then
tip
it
you.
costs me like $20 is in gas, then that
Oh
would
no, not
be
even like
like,
people can tip you with a chat reaction. Like
hmm
I can send you 10 S&T with a chat react, like with a reaction to like some comment you make, right?
okay,
That process can't be even on the order of the cost of 10 S&T. And so if the fee market that we rely upon is pumped up by projects that are completely outside the domain of the things that we care about, it makes a huge difference on our users and their ability to then participate in that ecosystem. They would probably want
sounds
to operate in something that isn't dependent upon the success of other projects on whether or not they can even do the things they want to do. Now, that may mean that like in a situation like that, you want to move to a place that isn't going to be encumbered by the success of others, but still has access to it if it wants to, right? And so like those are the types of things that I'm talking about in terms of fairness, is that you want to make sure that the future success of the things that you're doing aren't going to be changed by the underlying markets that drive the incentives of whatever system you're participating in. And in some cases, you're right. Like you want there to be a healthy market to vie for a given digital scarcity. That's how markets live. In some cases, you don't want that because you want the access to the people you're trying to give that access to not be encumbered by wealthy people who are completely outside of their community.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what we have today and over the world is that we have so many people who are impoverished that work for tremendously like in my opinion like unfathomably low prices that can't participate in the global economy because the price of doing so is like a year's worth of salary for them to do something relatively small. So why don't we make systems that enable them to do the same types of things, grow, and then enter into a different ecosystem when they're able to do so? Right now, they don't even have that option.
I feel like it's not because of digital limitations that something like a product like that can't come into existence. It's because of governmental reasons why they won't let that be adopted.
Well, I mean, the fee markets of cryptocurrencies has nothing to do with governmental reasons.
What I mean is that
and they've priced out a good portion of the people they set out to then give services to.
I agree.
Is that fair?
I think that is more fair than selling to them the idea that you can have a chance of equality within a system that's already the wealth disparity is only growing. Like I would just argue build a new system for them.
I mean, it doesn't have to be a new system. It can just be a part of the same system.
Have them build their own system. Maybe that. Like give them the tools
I
for them to build their own system.
That's why I don't think there's like one solution to rule them all. Like one network that's going to win is because the concept of fairness isn't ubiquitous across the globe. I don't think you can make a concept of fairness that fits everybody.
No, you absolutely can't.
I think
there's no way to
could,
make fair for everybody.
If you modularized the ability for people to create tiny blockchains and the legal infrastructure protected them to do so that value could be exchanged from those little tiny private blockchains, like say like a neighbor, like the argument that we were talking about with Eric that D brought up, like what if we wanted to have piping within a community and all four of us were neighbors? Why couldn't you have like a little private blockchain for that neighborhood where you have value poured into that because that's a blockchain dedicated for public works for the neighborhood. And then you have that chain connect to another chain where, you know, maybe that's the bigger chain is actually the civil service for the community, for the city that you live in. And so you are able to kind of instantiate value and networks where there need to be and potentially the ability to close them once the project has been completed. But they don't live within the ecosystem that is Ethereum. So they are not subjugated to the fees that are associated with doing layer 2 solutions where you have, I don't know, these problems. I just think like funds should pop up and disappear as soon as they're needed, and when they're not needed, go away, not contribute to value in a larger system.
I mean, in a sense, you've just described a good portion of the younger projects in the ecosystem, status included, right? The goal is to enable that type of future. Yeah. You have the level of connectivity, like Avalanche is probably another example. Polkadot and Cosmos are probably another example, depending upon how easy it is to pop up these blockchains. They're not so easy because popping something up across the hub and spoke model that is those systems isn't as easy. Avalanche and what Status hopes to do, maybe so. I don't know how other projects are trying to attack that problem. But like, yeah, that's the goal. And with layer 2s, it's potentially there, but you're always going to have the bare minimum cost that gets spread across all the transactions you end up doing be the aggregation, like how much it costs to dump the aggregation block from a layer 2 onto Ethereum 1. That's going to cost money. That then has to be shared across all the transactions that end up doing that, right? And so like hopefully there's enough transactions happening on these layer 2s that like the distributed difference of cost gets so small that it's inconsequential. But if it's like one transaction in a block, it's going to be the same thing as using Ethereum 1. You know what I mean? Like, so like if you do that type of thing on the model of Ethereum 2 and layer 2s on top of it, you're always still going to pay the cost. Like, you're always still going to pay the cost of what it takes to like dump the layer 2 aggregated data onto the layer 1. Other systems may find a different way of doing this, and I think it remains to be seen. So it's all experimental at this point. Ethereum's leading the way, but that doesn't mean it's going to win in the end.
I guess
Bitcoin
I
is just like a buy Bitcoin and hold it and see what happens.
Yeah, Bitcoin is just its own thing at this point. No, like the thing is, I just think that there should be almost in the way that you can kind of like spin up a blockchain node, or even an entire blockchain through AWS. Like there should be there will be at some point. There already are services that have like decentralized node infrastructure that if you want some virtualized computation, you can do that, and it's like a decentralized version of AWS. But I wish that it was more fragmented, where you're not building in one ecosystem. Everybody kind of builds their own chain. They build their own chain, but it's not a chain that has everybody's activity on. It's a system where the chains pop up as they're needed, and then they get stored or go away. And it's just, I don't know. It just seems like
that seems reasonable, and I think that's that's the goal. I think that's the end goal of communities and the infrastructure that supports it for status. Is these like communities and chains that support them.
I guess why didn't Status launch its own chain? Like why build?
We always had the S&T token on Ethereum, and the technology that's available currently to do that in the manner that it needs to scale based on what Status wants to do with communities isn't there yet. So like, it seems naive and contrary to current stakeholders to do something like that now. This is my personal opinion, right? I'm just one person in the whole company, but like, it seems as though we're not ready to do something like that, even if it is the end goal of Status to figure out a way to do it.
I don't think everything needs its own chain.
Well, that needs to be separated, right? Just based on the concept I said earlier, where like a community who's thriving within themselves should not be crippled by the success of something completely outside their community.
Which happened when gas prices went up. You couldn't even, like, if you were a smaller DAO, like let's say we had a DAO, gas prices would be so exorbitant that we wouldn't be able to function.
Yeah. And that happens to a lot of people when gas prices
I know, and that's what I'm saying. That's the problem that you get when you build within a larger ecosystem, and functionality disappears because
the success of something you don't care about should not keep you from being able to operate. It's like ideally, right? So like, let's try to make systems that are resilient to that type of thing. And right now, that doesn't exist. Unless you have to build an entirely new network and then bridging technology to get there. And that's so much additional infrastructure that isn't probably technically necessary. There's the solution otherwise.
You know how like Bitcoin introduced this idea that everybody should have their own self-sovereignty, right? You're your own bank, right?
Yeah. You can't
Why don't we all have our own blockchain?
Like community, almost like, I know, because blockchain requires a community. A given digital scarcity requires a community to give it value.
But there's a community behind every person, right? So like, what I mean is like, there would be inherent. Not. There could be.
The definition of a community is multiple people. Like, you need a group of people focused on a given ideology or a common goal set that gives value to whatever digital scarcity that exists, right? And the blockchain is the underlying ledger for those types of things. And the consensus algorithm that builds that blockchain is the fairness in which, and like the fairness and the security of the underlying digital scarcity. And that's all relative to the size of those things and the total amount of value associated with it. And that can be built slowly and grow and then be transferred into something else in the event that like they decide they want to be absorbed by something else. But like, as it currently exists, most of what we've seen happen is like the instantiation of that is an ERC20 token on Ethereum, which is always going to be at the bare floor. The cost of operating that type of thing is going to be the cost of gas fees on Ethereum, which is influenced heavily by things that most tokens don't give a shit about. Now, like, let's try and make something where like that influence isn't quite there yet. It doesn't exist as much. And I don't know what that looks like, but it's probably closer to what you're talking about, where you have this network of blockchains. And the topology, that network topology that we're talking about here today is what the vision of Avalanche is trying to be. Whether or not they do that is a different story.
But even them, you run a chain within that.
That's what it is. Like a subnet
necessitates
is its own.
You using
a subnet is its own group of chains.
Right, and that's where the topology of what I imagine does not line up with what Avalanche has done. Is because it's a private chain.
Gotten there yet. They just haven't gotten there yet. But also, like now what I would call a negative note on blockchain is that anyone who runs on Avalanche is required to run the primary network, which is like the floor of resources required to do anything in the network. And that may be too much for some communities. Now, solving that problem hasn't been solved yet either. So, like,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So, like, if you want to start a small community, it may cost you $50,000 for every validator that you need to have, because you have to run the primary network and computing resources to make sure that you can keep up with the rest of the network. That may be too much, right? Which creates a floor for any communities to ever even exist.
That 50,000 number, is that base?
I made that up.
Okay. What would be the most secure? Well, so this is just kind of like in the same vein of like, how would you create like a personalized blockchain node? Like, what would the costs be to like pop them up and then bring them down?
I don't know. It depends, like, how much level of security you need, and like what type of connectivity it has to a larger network in the event that it needs to spin down, right? There's infrastructure associated with doing that type of stuff. That, like, and how easy it is probably going to be expensive. I don't know. Like, I'm hoping I can help figure out a solution for that, because that's where I want Status to go. Because community features, like building quality Web3 enabled communities, I think requires that type of interaction. But the underlying infrastructure to support it isn't very clear. It's like it's based on what we have available to us today. It's not very clear.
So then, from all this conversation comes, we either have specialized hardware, or we are going to be constrained to
better consensus, better cryptography, better understanding of like how staking is in like and like anti-Sybil mechanisms work within consensus. Better AMMs, like more efficient, like automated markets for DEXs, so that these, like, you can spin something up, it gains value, and then it's available to be transferred into something that's larger than itself or otherwise. So like you have liquidity across these different communities.
I think it's always interesting that people try to do this funky. It's just going to be incredibly tough to move this technology outside of the realm of finance. Like, I know
it's all generally finance, because you're talking about moving value around.
Yes, you are, but there's different rules around moving different types of value. And it's just incredibly hard to have all those different rules exist on one platform. And so that's why I think money is the easiest thing right now and the first obvious thing, but people want to use. I think it's not going to be this magical world where we have a supply chain blockchain magically interacting with a financial blockchain. It's just much too tough. It's a very tough problem.
I think that anyway. I think that kind of just I'm getting a lot of inspiration from that conversation with Eric, in the way that like there are a lot of things that are going to happen in the coming years, like the dynamics of maybe fiat being more or less worth its current value. And in the event that, like, let's say blockchains and their associated value do kind of come into friction with like dollars, fiat systems, there will have to be a way to a more complex way of governing all those systems that you can kind of like offload value onto those systems and not have to worry that anybody's really like you're not creating the old thing again, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of experimentation though, because like
Yeah.
what works in all these different environments is going to be different.
Yeah.
Yeah, tough problems to solve. Let's get into the interview though.
Yeah.
We had Erik Voorhees on the show. For you guys that don't know who Erik Voorhees is, you probably just got into crypto yesterday. You fucking noob. All right. Well, we don't have the interview ready, but
We don't have a
'cause it
cutscene
just
because we
happened.
literally just finished the interview.
But
So
we're gonna like make some magic happen.
Are you working in a job that sucks balls? Does your job suck and ergo your life? Do you want to change that because your life is sucking? Join the TBP Slack. Get a better job.
Nice.
Enjoyable as fuck.
We got some commercials for you guys.
enjoyable AF.
Yeah.
Manskate.
Yeah, I mean, Manskate.com. Bow, bow. There's a lot of things that crypto is doing well, and my only thing is like, there's a lot of things crypto does well right now, and it's all money based stuff, right? It's weird for me to try to think of a world where like, oh, I've got these tokens that represent all of Ford's Gaylords, and each token is a Gaylord that Ford owns. And a Gaylord is a big thing that carries stuff.
Oh,
No.
Didn't know
okay.
that.
Yeah, I didn't
So-
know that either.
Well, we didn't know what Telios meant.
It's a nice
this morning.
hotel.
But
That's
now
a
we
nice
know.
hotel in my opinion. That's all I've ever known.
A Gaylord is a nice hotel.
It's the
It's
name of a
a-
nice hotel.
It's you put a pallet and you put
I'm
a
looking
box
this
on a
up.
pallet and you put stuff in it. You got yourself a Gaylord.
I'm looking this up.
Well,
You don't trust him.
No. There's a Gaylord
Yeah.
Hotel is the first thing that pops up, so we'll see how this goes.
say what is a Gaylord?
Gaylord. A Norman French origin. Joyful or high-spirited.
A Gaylord box is basically a bulk size corrugated box. Traditionally, Gaylord boxes are large or bulk size and allow for the shipment of products in a large single container or on a pallet.
There's
The name
a lot
Gaylord
of
box
definitions of Gaylords.
has evolved into a generic term for any pallet-sized box for bulk shipping or storage.
Interesting.
It's a pallet-sized box.
All right. Well, whatever. Sure.
Yeah,
Oh,
I had to watch Gaylords for about 10 hours straight when I did a time study as a consultant one time. It was terrible. I hated it. It's like, I was like, you just want me to sit here and watch these boxes? Yep, time them down to the millisecond. It's like, this sucks. But anyways, a token that represents a Gaylord that Ford owns, interacting with a token that is taking in someone's liquidity proof tokens and staking them, and like it's just
You're
it's
saying
like
words.
exactly because that's what DeFi is. Haven't you seen DeFi D? You want to make money and not know how?
That's the pitch you need to make. That's the advertisement we need, is to get people to subscribe to DeFi D on with Snapchat,
On
TikTok. What is it?
It's on TikTok. Look at the
Do
sound
you
of
really?
What is it? Instagram, Snapchat, Twitty Twats?
Whatever these young whippersnappers are
Instas?
using.
Yeah, I'm on. Well, not me, but DeFi D is on TikTok, and he gives advice. He gives DeFi advice, and
Wait, are you actually like? It's not you.
It's him.
It's not me.
Okay, all
It's an
right.
emoji. It's like an emoji thing.
I got you.
What are you talking about?
Is it the
Look
thing
at
that
it.
Joe
Look at
posted?
it. Look at it. Is that racist?
It's definitely not me. It's Deep ID. What?
Oh my god.
Is TikTok on the internet or is it just an app? Can I bring up Deep ID?
Sure.
You should.
Let me see.
That'd be fun.
TikTok.
You know, use your internet. See what happens.
TikTok.com.
I don't know how TikTok works, literally. So I.
Oh yeah, TikTok.com.
Who'd have thought?
You know, it's a thing. Anyways, we're not going down that path.
TikTok, DeFi.
I got my wife to subscribe to it and a couple people at status. So there you go.
How do you spell that? D
DeFi underscore D.
underscore. Okay.
Yeah, DeFi D was already taken. Surprise, surprise. But
Okay.
yeah. Dale said it's on the web. It is on the web. Jordan from My Crypto says Slack sucks for communities.
So we've asked the Slack community whether or not we should move to Discord. Some people say yes.
Yeah. So another thing that's hot on the streets is Doge has an Axe body spray now.
You get that picture for that?
I do. Should I bring up my screen?
Yeah, bring up the picture for the Doge Axe body spray, which it's so apropos. Like this is the audience you're looking for. Just like either like 8-year-olds or douchebags, one of the two.
That's a Doge Axe body spray. That's what's happening.
Man, you got
like,
a lot of icons going on over there, dude.
Yeah, bro. I live a life. What do you mean?
Look, you got too many things open.
Bro, I got all these Google Chrome accounts that I have to monitor. Then I got Audacity for the old school. Got a calculator for my numbers. Got Snippet on there. Got Spotify running. Got Sliggity Slack. Got Microsoft Project for my projects. And then I got OBS for the time when Jessie and I were doing What the Header, trying to learn how to program. That was a nightmare.
I stopped caring. Stop.
Got Python going on there.
Stop caring.
Oh, you don't care anymore?
No,
I was telling you about all the things I got going on here. And I don't know what the fuck this is.
I would not start clicking on things you have.
Yeah, that's right.
Security.
D-tabs are dangerous. Don't be.
I'm looking right now
D-tabs on a live show.
I'm looking to see if there's anything compromising I'm putting up in there.
Not even compromising, just like not suitable for work.
Dude, I don't just keep porn streaming to my computer at all times. Not this one.
Brought to you by Manskate.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know. So crypto gets weird when they're in these like troughs. Like the news is few and far between because most people are working, and then the only news you see is stuff like an ETF might get passed or not, or this country said that crypto's bad but not that bad, and so it's not a lot happening in crypto. But development wise, Bitcoin's getting its upgrade soon. Ethereum 2.0 looks like it's going pretty smooth. This is going to be monumental whenever it goes. A lot of lofty goals from old Ethereum 2.0, saying it's gonna easily be able to transact tens of thousands of transactions per second. And that's coming from Vitalik words. That's from Vitalik's mouth.
We'll see how it
to
goes.
Everybody.
It's the crypto space. Who knows what happens, man?
So once again,
a lot of people trying to make it happen, though. Let's put it that way.
We're gonna riggedy wrap. Once again, today's show is brought to you by Manskate.com. And specifically their new product, the Lawnmower 4.0. This puppy also has a travel lock, right? So it prevents you from accidentally turning on this trimmer, and then everybody saying like, does that person have a dildo in their bag? And they're like, no, it's not a dildo. It's shaped like one, but it's not one. You don't want to go. Yeah.
You'd like to have a battery when you get to the hotel and you want to shave and get ready for your meeting.
Absolutely.
Just let's be real. You're using it on both your face and your underparts.
No.
What?
No.
You use your on your face, Corey?
100%, both.
Oh my God, we've got to move on.
I have very clean parts. I have very clean parts. You use it after you shower.
I can't believe I'm hearing this. Jesse, are you believing this?
20% off
doing?
promo
Are you not-
code.
are you not cleaning yourself?
Are you putting your
you-
balls
are
on
you-
your face?
Are you cleaning yourself?
I'm not participating. This is between you guys.
I would never
Do
in my life.
Do you scrub? Do you scrub when you take showers?
Bro, of course, but I'm not gonna use my ball trimmer on my face ever. Never. Ever.
So your balls are still dirty.
No, it's not the dirty. It's just, those are two different parts of the body.
It sounds a lot like your balls are still dirty.
That you never want to touch. I don't understand.
What are you touching? Would you touch something dirty?
I see where your logic is coming from, but it's not passing the. It's not.
It sounds like you might want to spend some more time cleaning yourself. Anyway.
I feel like we should pull the slack on that one, right? I honestly do.
I'm losing this battle on a poll for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So buy two of them.
Oh, hey, let me
There you
ask
go.
you this then.
Because it's going to be good for
you
your
just
face
get
too.
out of the shower. Just get out of the shower.
Yeah.
Fresh booty and everything. Do you take the towel, the part of the towel that you use to dry your butt, and then dry your face with that?
Doesn't matter. It's all clean. It's all equally clean.
This show's brought to you by
Because I do a good job of
Manskate.
scrubbing my body.
This show's brought to you by Manskate. Let's put on some stuff.
Do you know how soap works?
I
Hold
think
up.
when you're clean, you're clean.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tupac. Erick Voorhees is someone we just recorded.
Tupac?
Where's Erick Voorhees?
Tupac.
Sorry, Tupac.
I love
we
your
recorded
name.
that, and we're gonna put it together. Amazing name.
If you don't know, where's Erick Voorhees? Erick Voorhees is on the episode just before this because we did a long interview. So after you listen to us,
Yeah,
out the
we
episode.
put them together. For those of you new to the show, we record a roundtable and an interview, and we splice them together and put that into one show. So it's a thing. It's a thing that we do. No, the promo code is not TMI. Don't do that. The promo code is TBPN Smooth. Hold on, I gotta tell them.
I got it.
You doing it?
Got it? Is it
Yeah,
all
tell 'em.
uppercase?
Yeah, all uppercase.
There you go. TV and smooth. Bro.
That's the code. TBPN Smooth, baby. All right, so if you're not a patron and you want to be, what you will get access to is the show a little bit earlier than everyone else, and you also get access to the meta. I know, man, but we really want that code to work. And then you also get access to the meta episodes. We've done one meta episode. Should our lives align, we plan to do more. It is increasingly tough to do more shows a week now. Damn, Corey, we didn't know how good we had it. Jesus, but
7 episodes a week. Yeah. I don't know how I did that.
you want to do an episode now and tomorrow and the day after? Yeah, man. But as life does what it do, we find it harder to get together to record episodes. But you will also get access to the metaverse of the Bitcoin podcast, which is the meta episodes where we listen to old episodes and comment and look and see if what we said is still valid, if it's invalid, if that person is still around. It's just a really cool episode. Let's see. What else do we do? Slack. You can go to the bitcoinpodcast.com and join our Slack. In that Slack, you'll meet very cool people. There's Joe.
Jobs
there's
Network
Andy,
is
there's
on
Timothy.
fire. The Jobs
Yes.
channel in the Slack is on fire. If you're looking for a job,
Mhm.
join there. You might find one.
Mm-hmm. Does your job suck? Right? Like, if it does, then you need to join our Slack and join the hashtag jobs channel. Start talking, start learning, and you just might find your way into crypto and land a new career that is probably exciting, frustrating, challenging, all the things a good career should be. What else do we do? Ah, yes, the dreaded Apple Podcast review. Up until recently, we would say if you don't give us 5 stars, you can go fuck yourself. But I kind of think as I age, I get more grays in my schmo tee and in my hair, and my hairline sprints back further than LeBron. I feel like maybe you should just give us the amount of stars we deserve. If you think it's 1 star because Jessie eats flaming hot Cheetos in your ear for an hour straight, then by all means, give us the 1 star.
I've had more comments on that one episode than every other episode I think we've ever had.
People were
That's a good
upset.
thing.
Mhm.
They were like
just comments in general, not negative comments, just all comments.
like Cheetos, huh? For an hour straight, you just gonna eat Cheetos and people.
But we did get people join the Slack because they were interested in Cheetos.
That's very
It's
true.
Someone joined yesterday and says I'm all about them Cheetos. So here we
So
are.
speaking of which, if we do get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, we are going to give 100 bags of Flamin' Hot Cheetos to one of those subscribers.
Just one person. Like
One
if you're
person.
lucky, you get a lot of Cheetos, or
Mhm.
unlucky, depending on how you feel about it.
We already know how to do it. We buy direct from Cheeto factories, and they ship it in a Gaylord straight to your house. And you're gonna get 100 bags of Flamin' Hot Cheetos, baby. Yeah, give
it
us
up.
stars.
Let's go.
Who is
I gotta
it?
go.
Tiana Taylor, you're doing your thing. Issa Rae, I love you.
I feel like I'm watching like a shitty captcha right now.
Whoopi Goldberg, sister. I don't know
that's
her.
the lady from Loki.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
She's great. She's great at what
Good
she does,
show.
but I don't know who you are. We're gonna keep it moving. Nope.
The lady,
don't know
the
who
girl
you
from
are.
the girl from the space thing.
Ooh, these are getting tough now. I don't know any of these people. These must be younger people. Now that's Lisa Perez. Shout out to you, boo.
Mariah Carey.
Wow, that's Lisa Perez.
Just checking.
That's that's out to beats.
Mariah Carey. It's Mariah Carey.
Good old long neck and wide smile. Zoe Saldana. Gugu. Gugu's on Loki.
All right.
Gugu. That's her name. It's a
Real
very
name?
good name.
It's not a real
Yeah.
name, is it?
Yeah, Gugu.
Oh, what a name.
Maybe it's Gaga. Could be. Phonetics.
Good night. Gotta go.
Play the Gugu.